Welcome back and welcome if you're new to the channel. Okay, this is not a manager versus a leader. I'm not going to pit the manager against a leader. Of course, manager versus leader sounds interesting, but I don't think it's fair to make the manager look bad just to elevate the leader. So instead, let's give it a more practical perspective. Let's look at it as a step up, how a manager can step up to become an effective leader. And I'll try to sprinkle some examples wherever I can so that you can relate them better. All right, so let's get started. First, a manager does things right, whereas a leader does right things, which means give managers anything. They'll not say no, they'll do it, and they'll do it right, on time, with good quality. Whereas leaders, they will not just take anything and everything that is thrown at them. If leaders think it doesn't align with what's right for the company or the customers or the people, they challenge, they question, and they seek clarity as to why we should still do it. For instance, if a leader is asked to submit a proposal to an enterprise customer, usually we dive our head first without second thought, right? Large customer, huge opportunity. But a leader is like, hold on a sec. Is it worth going all out on a proposal that doesn't even have a budget approved? The odds of winning the deal are pretty slim. We don't even have a footprint in that area. So why are we even investing our time here? That is how a leader thinks. Not that a leader always complains or challenges everything. They're open-minded to learn. But they always needed this clarity because a leader knows that time is money and they value the company's time and people's effort. So, as a leader, always think if what you're doing is right. If not, it's time to speak up, question, and seek clarity. But make sure you're not coming off like you're challenging their authority or the ego. When you're right, you may be saving your company's money and your people's time and energy. Now, that's the kind of difference leaders make. Those are the kind of managers anyone would want to have on their side. Next, managers are ambitious, so they look out for themselves first. They put their self above everything else. And that's not a crime. That's normal. That's what most of us do. The first thing we do is tune into this WIIFM, right? What is in it for me? But leaders are wired differently. They put service above self. They're like, they first, me next. In fact, they're so uncomfortable putting themselves ahead of others. Not that they're not ambitious. They just know that they don't have to worry about their ambition. They know that if they can genuinely serve others, add value to others, their organization, their customers, their people, they would be happy to pay back and even pay more. They find real sense of fulfillment in helping others get the results they desire. What goes around gets around. I'm not saying you should ditch your goals and targets and bend over backwards every time for the customer and do them favors. You should do what you can within your boundaries. That reminds me of a quote from Mother Teresa. It goes, "We may not be able to do great things, but we can all do small things with great love." Those little things without a motive can make a big difference to your customers or your company or your people. Managers go to work because they have to. And that's normal. We all show up to work whether we like it or not. We are like, thank God it's Friday. And soon we are like, oh my God, it's Monday. We've all been there, right? But leaders go to work not because they have to, but because they want to. They choose to go. In fact, they too have the challenges at their workplace. They may not be the favorite for their boss. They may not be adept at handling office politics. They may not have a great team. They may not be highly paid. But they don't mix them up with their focus and their goals. They just have the juice in their veins to jump out of bed and get to work. They're like, it's not about me. It's about them, the company, the customers, and the people. So if you want to become a leader, learn to block out the noise and the negativity around you at your workplace and let it not affect your focus and ambition in life. If you're not in the right place, do something about it. Or worst case, find a better company. But as long as you're with your organization, keep in mind, it's not about you, it's about them. Managers are busy with urgent things, the daily grind, like back-to-back meetings all day long, accomplishing all the tasks for the day and so on. Which is certainly not easy. You have to be pretty organized to be able to multitask 20 different things in a day. But leaders, while they too are busy, they also make time for the important things, the things that matter for their goals. Like spending some time to figure out the strategy to meet the goals, or looking for ways to keep their people engaged with their work, or strengthening the client relationships and so on. They make time by saying no to the things that may be urgent, but not very important. They align their time to their goals. They go lean. They cut waste. They look at the meeting on the calendars and they're like, am I needed for this? Is this helping me with my goals? If yes, they're all in. If no, they get back to the end game. Managers assign work to the team and work hard to get it done. But leaders, when they assign work, they also give a context and creates a purpose for the team. They clearly articulate to the team, this is where we are going. This is why, this is how we are going to get there, this is how you fit in, and this is what is in it for you. Where we are going is your goal. Why is your mission. How we are going to get there is your plan or strategy to achieve your goal. Here's how you fit in means how is the work of each individual on the team connected to the overall success. And what's in it for you means why is it important for everyone to give their best and how does it benefit them personally? If not, what could they be missing? This is the clarity you need to have first as a manager and then articulate that to everyone on your team. It's so powerful when you give them the context and align everyone on your team to that purpose. It creates incredible energy and enthusiasm when your people see a bigger reason to work than just getting paid. That is when they show up to work because they want to, not because they have to, because they see their success and fulfillment stemming from it. Remember, your people spend more time in their lives around you than with anyone else. If you are not helping them make a meaning of that investment, you're wasting their time and their lives. Sure, the company pays them, it fills their wallets, but as a leader, you need to fill their souls. Even in hard times, work has to be a place where people want to be. Making it so is part of what leaders do. Managers focus on speed. They push their people to meet the deadlines. They want progress, which is good, but a leader focuses first on direction. Are we going in the right direction? Are we making the right decision? And then they think about speed. Because if you're not going in the right direction, how does it matter how fast you go? For instance, you're building a product. A manager's focus is time to market. How fast can we launch this product in the market? But a leader is like, is the market need big enough? Will this really fly? Or okay, market is big, but it's crowded with similar products. Can we stand out? How do we differentiate? Is it really worth the returns on our investment? Are we going in the right direction? This is how leaders think. For most managers, leadership is all about leading others. Of course, it's a lot about others, but a lot of them miss the most important piece, and that is leading themselves. In other words, leading by example or leading from the front. As a leader, you have to first demonstrate the behaviors that you expect from your people so that your people will sincerely follow you. That is integrity. If you don't lead with integrity or by example, you'll be sending mixed signals and your people can see right through them. For instance, you expect all your subordinates to make it to work on time, but you yourself never show up on time. Or you push your teams to negotiate hard with customers on the pricing, but you never want to join those calls. How inspiring would that be? Do you think it'll sit right with your best people? So choose the right way of leading people and the way that works, which is leading from the front or leading by example. Managers rely on authority to wield control over the team. They believe that people will only respect authority. But the point the managers miss is that people just pretend that they respect. They just go through the motions until they don't have a choice. But when they do, they give a damn. Whereas leaders, they don't really need authority. They harness their personal power and influence their people. Good leaders have tremendous energy and that energy is infectious. People simply follow them. In fact, leaders don't really spend a lot of time trying to motivate their people. They just make sure they don't do anything stupid to demotivate them. That's it. That's half the battle. So keep in mind, your title and authority may get the mediocre ones to listen to you, but the best ones will never align. As managers usually want to control, they tell their people what to do. They of course help, advise, support, and even solve others' problems. Sometimes it is better we do than letting them do it, right? But leaders, when someone is stuck, instead of telling them what to do, they're like, what do you think we should do? And instigates their thinking and creativity. They develop your ability to solve your problems on your own and build self-confidence in you. Leaders do care about people, but they don't pamper them just to make them feel good. They help, but they don't do it for them. They give them liberty, but not lenience. They want their people to be strong and independent. That way, leaders are able to spend more time focusing on their own job. Managers work hard, and rightly so, they take the credit they deserve. But leaders, don't be surprised, are actually a bit embarrassed if someone gives credit. They're like, okay, I'm happy for the results, but I was just doing my job. They give the credit to the team, not just for the sake of it, but because they truly believe that it's teamwork. They just cannot contain their excitement about the team's success. In fact, a leader is like a coach jumping on the sidelines and hugging the players when they're off the field, never mind the sweat. That is how much a leader loves to appreciate and reward their people. A manager waits for work to be assigned. They wait for the project to be assigned, wait for their boss to introduce them to the team. Some days they may say, I don't have much work today, I don't have many meetings today, so I'm free. But leaders can never do that. They just cannot stand sitting idle. They know there's a lot to do every single day. They do not wait for their boss to tell them what they should do and where they should focus. Leaders know, or they figure out what their goals are and dive right into inching towards them. That's a surefire sign of a leader, because if you're not occupied with achieving your goals, then what are you leading your people to? Sorry if the list was too exhaustive. I couldn't really keep it shorter than that. Now, what's the point here? Who should you be? A leader or a manager? Maybe you thought a leader. No. For all practical purposes, you have to be both based on the situation. But you have to first be a leader and then a manager. You have to first focus on direction, and not just on direction, but also on speed. Lead yourself first, yes, but also lead others. Empathize first, but reprimand when needed, and so on. So introspect and do a self-assessment against each of these characteristics and figure out which ones you have to work on. And put down in the comments to share where you fit in. Are you more of a manager or a leader? Alright? So that's a wrap for the video, guys. I really hope it was useful. If you think it was, just give a thumbs up. And if you want more such videos, please subscribe and stay tuned. Until then, keep learning and keep rocking. Bye now.